Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday evening sip and sew. My name is Kelsey, and we're going to be making a cute little Bitsy box tonight. So, I think I have something in my teeth. Just ate dinner. So tonight we're going to be making this Bitsy box. Comment down below if you have the pattern and or a kit, and if you plan on sewing along with me tonight. This is a cute little 2.5-inch square cube that's perfect for carrying any of your favorite notions. Maybe you want to carry a spool of thread, some embroidery scissors, and a thimble for any on-the-go hand projects. Maybe you want to carry your little alphabetties or your your wonder clips, anything like that. That you want to carry around here. It's really handy because it has this little D-ring attached to it, so you can you can attach a carabiner there, you can tie a ribbon to it, whatever you want to do to tie it, make it easier to carry around. Hi, Darlene. How's it going? Lori says, watching this time. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to transfer over here. All right, can everyone see my project over here? We're going to get started starting after the quilting part. So hopefully if you're sewing along with me tonight, you saw my post earlier about going ahead to quilt your exterior lining and whatever stabilizer you're using. I'm using Annie's Soft and Stable, which is quite puffy. It's feels more like a foam. So it adds a lot of body. I love using the stabilizer anytime I'm going to quilt something. So I used it in this sew together bag. It uses Soft and Stable as well. I just think it makes the quilting stand out really well. As you can see, I like this quilting design, so I decided to copy it over here with my Bitsy Box. Let me look at these comments real quick. Barb's gonna watch tonight and make later. Awesome. Viona's has the pattern and is ready to sew. Stephanie has the pattern in the kit. Oh, Carol says that her granddaughter used it for jewelry. That's awesome. Great. Okay, so you will need the pattern for this. You'll also need the zipper, your quilted body piece, a D-ring, and then your 2 tabs. Technically, the D-ring is not required, but if you wanted to have a D-ring so that you can, attach it to things, then I think that's the most convenient. So we're going to start with the instructions after you have quilted the body of your bag. So that part's just repetitive and takes a while, so I like to start after bags have been quilted. So we're going to start off with this step that involves the zipper. So you guys know that I like to pick projects with easy zippers, so that is what this one is. It's a pretty easy zipper to put in. The hardest part, in my opinion, about zippers is maneuvering around the zipper pull. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Dale asks, what is the stabilizer called? It's called Soft and Stable. Annie's Soft and Stable, it usually comes in packages. For a project like this that's so small, the stabilizer packages are quite large, so you can get quite a bit out of it. I've also made a backpack using the stabilizer. I use it for a lot of things. Okay, so we're going to start with step 1, which involves attaching one side of the zipper to the short end. So we're going to center the zipper right side down onto the outside side on one of the short ends. So we have our short ends. This is a pretty small piece, so starting off with a piece this small kind of gives you an idea of how tiny our bag will end up being. Maria, good evening. Oh, pinning cherries right now. Are you going to use them in a recipe? Okay, so I'm going to grab my zipper, fold it in half, and mark the center. The instructions say to have a 9-inch zipper or a larger. So I have a 9-inch here. It is a little easier with a larger zipper because then you're not maneuvering around the pool quite so much, but this will still work. So we're going to center it on, let me see here. Let me just make sure I ended up cutting this to 6 inches. Okay, so center this with where my 3 inches. I'm going to grab a couple wonder clips, which is my favorite way to attach zippers. And my zipper is right side down, so my zipper pull is face down. Zipper pull and zipper teeth. And it says onto the outside side. So this is the side I want to be the outside of my Bitsy Box. It matches the Mega Dream bag that I made with you guys last time. So you guys might be tired of seeing this fabric, but I did pick something different for the inside. This isn't from the same collection, I just thought it was pretty. And they both kind of have this yellow with this zipper. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this over to the sewing machine with a zipper foot and attach it closely to the zipper teeth. It does say using a 1/4 inch seam allowance is a good guide to keep you from getting too close to the zipper teeth. I'm just going to use my zipper foot because that's what it's for, but if you want to use a 1/4 inch foot as well, you could do that. So we're going to go ahead and take this over to the sewing machine. Sour cherries. Oh, you grow them. That's so cool. Maria, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, I need to swap out my standard foot for my zipper foot real quick. Okay. I just like to use the wonder clips to make sure it stays centered, and then I take them out and just, especially on a piece this small, just use my fingers to keep it in place. Okay, now my next step is to fold the fabric in half, lining on the outside, and line up the other short end to the zipper. Make sure sides are even and right side of zipper is facing the outside fabric. So I'm just going to keep it over here. I am going to actually mark my half of my fabric just so I am double sure this is lined up. So I've marked halfway here and just the halfway of the other side of the zipper. I'm just going to line these up. I'm just going to do it this way. Actually, which way do I want to do this? I'm going to do it like this. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out which way is the best way to orient this for sewing. I think this one. Okay, so I'm going to have it oriented like this with the part that has already been sewn on top, and just kind of hold it back as I go. And we are going to be top stitching it to make sure that the zipper teeth don't get caught in any of the fabric. Stays out of the way pretty nicely. Do you guys have a specific use in mind for this when you finish yours? I'm not totally sure about mine yet because I do already have a bag I carry my embroidery stuff in, so I don't need it for hand sewing stuff. But I might use it for my wonder clips. Okay, so this is what you should have right now. A tube with the lining on the outside and the outside fabric and the zipper down facing the outside fabric. All right, so now our instructions say, open the zipper and zigzag the edges of the seams you just sewed. Trim any messy threads after zigzagging. So keep in mind, this is a bag. This is going to be the inside, and so we want it to look finished. So we're going to go ahead and as it says, trim any messy, dropped it, any threads, and then go ahead and zigzag it. Don't forget to change to your proper foot. The zigzag on my machine is number 9. Utility 9. There we go. Okay. I'm making sure that one end of my zigzag is off the fabric and one end is in, so it's really going to finish that edge for me. Robin, for your granddaughter, that's awesome. Yeah, this is definitely the kind of thing that's easy to make multiples of, so hopefully you can get a bunch of those in. Zigzag the other side now. Okay, so here's what my edges look like, all nice and finished. And then we're going to, I believe, flip it. Yes, fold the zipper edge to the lining side, pulling outside fabric away from zipper teeth, top stitch on the outside, making sure to catch the zipper edge underneath. So now what we're going to do is fold it under and top stitch closely to the edge of the outside fabric and make sure we're catching the zipper teeth or the zipper tape underneath so that it stays folded to the inside. So I'm just going to fold that back, change my stitch back to 1. Actually, I want it in the middle. Okay. This Soft and Stable is super easy to work with, so it's really easy for me to fold this to the other side. It kind of just wants to do whatever you want it to, so it's really easy to manipulate here. So here's what that looks like, and it has the teeth on the other side. We'll go ahead and do that to my other side now. I'm just kind of turning it under as I go. Alrighty. After this is done, we are going to work on our tabs. So here's this ready to go. You will need an iron ready for this next part. Let's go back over here to my desktop. These are the 2 tabs that I am using, and I'm just going to pull my wool mat over here. Okay, it says fold tabs in half and press. Open and fold in short ends to the center, and then fold in half again, top stitch along both edges. So that's kind of what we're going to do with this. First we'll fold it in half, and this is basically just to give us a center crease. Then we'll fold both edges in to that fold. And then in half again, like this. And that gives us our super tiny little tab here. That's the perfect width for this D-ring. The instructions call for a 3/4 inch D-ring, so that's what I have here. We'll just go ahead and do the same thing to the other tab. All right, now we're just going to top stitch both folded sides here. And I believe that the raw edge is just going to get hidden on the inside, so we're not going to do anything about that right now. So we'll take these two over to the machine. Robin says, I got a kit. Do I need to iron on the stabilizer? If you got the kit for this, we use the Soft and Stable, which is not a fusible interfacing. So you do not need to iron it on. All right, so now we have these little pulls here, or tabs, I should say, not pulls. And we're just going to top stitch on both sides of the folded sides, like the finished sides. I'm just going to chain stitch these. Right, other side. I'm doing this really close, like less than 1/8 of an inch. As long as you're sewing it closed, then you're good. So that is what that looks like now. All right, next instruction. Close the zipper halfway. So we still have our lining side out. Close the zipper halfway, fold in half, and make a small mark on the folded edges. So, oh, I dropped my pen. Okay. So I'm going to fold it in half like this, and make a mark at the halfway right there. I'm using an iron off pen, so you definitely don't want to use anything permanent. Okay, after we have made that mark, fold one tab in half and center it inside over the zipper. Keep raw edges of the tab flush with raw edges of fabric, clip or pin in place. Okay, so we have here, let's work from our closed side. And where did I just put my tabs? Oh, there they are. Okay. Oh, sorry guys. I need one of those like mats that goes under my wheelie chair because it rolls really funny on my hardwood. All right, we're gonna fold one of these in half, like this, and put it in here with the raw edges flush, centered over the zippers, and clip it in place. Make sure it's centered and that the raw edges are flush. Okay. Center the fold mark over the zipper and repin. So we're also pinning or clipping this to that like sandwich as well. All right, so that is what this will look like at this point with the tab in there, and we still have our lining side out. Sew a 1/4 inch seam down the edge, making sure to back stitch over the zipper and the tab to reinforce. So we'll just go ahead and stitch down here to close this off. If you're adding the D-ring, slide it on the other tab and repeat. So, okay, you might want to pay attention to which side you put the D-ring on. I'm going to put it on this side so that when the box is closed, it's the D-ring closest to the zipper pull. So just make sure that you pay attention to which side has the zipper, which side you want the D-ring to go on, and all of that. So we're going to sew this with a 1/4 inch seam. And, oh, my needle came unthreaded real quick, hold on. And then making sure that we back tack over the zipper. Oh, I'm getting to the end of my thread, so it's acting funny. Okay, I just took my first clip off so I can get it really close to the presser foot, but I'm keeping my finger there to make sure that that tab doesn't budge until it's underneath the presser foot. Then I'm moving the other one. And remember, this is a lot of layers you're going through, so go slow. Once I get to the zipper tape, I'm going to start back stitching over the tape, the teeth, and then the other edge of the tape, because that'll reinforce my tab inside as well. Okay. So now, this other side is where we want our D-ring. So this will just add a little bit of a thing to think about. When you're sewing, make sure you don't sew over the D-ring. This is a very small tab, so it might be easy for it to shift. So I'm actually going to go ahead and sew this shut so I don't have to worry about keeping all of these layers together while I'm also trying to worry about not sewing over the metal piece. Okay, so this zipper is open on this end. Watch that doesn't spread apart when sewing. After sewing both sides, trim excess zipper flush with the edge of the fabric. Okay, so we'll do that next. Okay, so now that this is closed, it's the one less thing to worry about. We're going to, our zipper tape here is open. We have to leave this open so that we can unzip it all the way to turn it. But we just need to make sure it stays together while we're sewing. So this is probably the most complicated step just because there's a lot going on. So we want it like this. All of the raw edges are flush. My zipper is together. My D-ring is out of the way. My tab is even. Okay, now we're just going to sew this side shut as well. Quarter inch, back stitch, make sure the zipper teeth stay together. Going to back stitch forward, back stitch forward, back stitch forward, then all the way to the end. Okay, let's see if we did it. All right, sweet. So next up, we have to make our box corners. Over to the cutting table. All right, so mark a 3/4 inch square in each corner. Be sure to measure from the seam line and the fold. So that means that, make sure you can see, all right. That means that we're going to measure in 3/4 inch from the fold and from the stitches here, so not from the raw edge. So 3/4 inch from the stitches and 3/4 of an inch from the fold. Sure we have this. So technically it's an inch from the raw edge and 3/4 of an inch from the fold if your seam allowance was correct. Cut out each square, making sure not to overcut at the corners. Okay, so let's mark these first. Three quarters. I just want to make sure you see what I'm saying. So my box is 3/4 from here, up and over, up and over. So the 3/4 inch measurement starts here. There is a fly that has been in my apartment for way too many days, and it's driving me crazy. I feel like I walk around with a fly swatter just waiting to kill it, and it's too good, but it's flying around my room right now. All right, so our 3/4 inch boxes are made. We're going to clip them now. Make sure that you don't over clip one at the corner, which means one of the lines goes past the other line, so make sure it's even. It's pretty thick, so I'm using the back part of my scissors. Okay, and I'm actually kind of undercutting at first so that I don't overcut this corner. And then I'll go in and clip it. One down. And if you've never made a bag like this before, this is going to become the boxed edge of our cube here. Okay? Jane, I made one, it's so sweet. Oh good, I'm glad you've made it. It's very cute. I used it one year when I'm a huge gift person. Like I just love getting people presents. And I had this like new friend group that I was like, we have not known each other very long, and I feel like it'd be weird. I'm not expecting them to get me anything, but I really want to get them something. But also it's like I don't really know them very well. And so I just want to do something kind of small. So I made them all Bitsy boxes and put like candy and chapstick and scrunchies in them. And they really liked it. So I think it's a kind of a cute thing for those purposes as well. Did everyone hear our announcement yesterday about our long arm? I'm getting very excited about it. There's a lot of work to do to get ready for its arrival, but we have about a month and a half to 2 months, so it should be plenty of time. I'm so excited. I have a lot of my own projects that I've just been waiting to custom. Oh, and I forgot we're supposed to also cut off the edges or the overhang of our zippers. That's all flush. All right, so next thing that we're going to do is zigzag these two edges, raw edges, and then we're going to box this up like this. And let me see if they have any. That's really the last step, is to do this and box these corners. So let's head over to the sewing machine. All right, zigzag. Oops. Nancy, yes, so it's a big learning curve for sure at the beginning. I found a ton of online resources of things that long arm owners, even experienced long arm owners, use to keep continuing like to build their skills and everything like that. But I have already been long arming for 4 years now with the same machine that I'm buying. So I don't feel too in the dark, but I still haven't ever owned one before, so I'm sure there's still a lot of stuff that I'll be learning. But I feel like I'm starting from a good place. Okay, so I'm pinching my first corner here, making sure that this seam right here is centered. You can even draw a line here if you want to mark where the center is, but it's so small I feel like I can just eyeball it. I'm squishing down everything else while I use a straight stitch to sew this. And it says 1/4 inch, and then you'll zigzag them after. And backstitch. One. This project feels so fast and easy compared to the sew together bag that we just did. If you guys have been making a matching set of bags with your Mega Dream bag, sew together bag, and Bitsy Box like I have, I would love to see a picture of all of them together. Even if they're not all matching, if you've worked on any of the bags that we've done videos on, I would love to see your finished product. Make sure you're part of the Just Sew Along Facebook group to share pictures with us. Stephanie, that's a good question. I haven't been backstitching when I zigzag. I don't think it's necessary, but you could just to be sure. I mean, like, why not? I just didn't think about it. All right, zigzag time. I am usually pretty careless with my backstitching with quilts and stuff, except for my final seam, which is usually a border. Because if you think about it, like every other seam is going to be holding together your previous one, so there's not really a huge point in backstitching. And this one is kind of the same, where these box corners are holding all the other seams together. So if you haven't backstitched at all up until this point, it's not the end of the world, but this might be the one place you do want to backstitch because it's kind of the final seams that are closing off all the rest of the seams. So I think I'm going to do that. Not that this little bag is carrying very much weight, but it is thick, and so that puts a little bit of pressure on the seams. And this is also what the interior of the bag is going to look like, so make sure you clip off any threads that you don't want hanging out. Hi Dale. Yeah, you can grab the pattern on our website. It's justsewstudio.com. And if you want a kit, just let us know. I think we're currently out of the stabilizer, but we should be getting more in soon. So we'd be happy to make some more kits. Same with the zippers. We're out of a lot of zippers, but I just ordered a ton more. So if you're wanting to stock up on anything, just let me know and I'll put you down on an interest list for it. All right. Look at how easy that project was. I'm just going to unzip my zipper the rest of the way and turn it right sides out. Poke out your corners. Should be pretty easy. Look at how fun. Here we go. All right, guys, here is my finished Bitsy box. I'm so happy with it. I love the yellow zipper because I just love the color of these yellow buttons, and it really pulls it out. We have my tabs, and my D-ring is on the one closest to my zipper pull, but really it doesn't matter which side you put it on. Nancy says, the mini duffel pattern has binding on the edges, and then French seams. It's so thick. Oh, you broke your needle. Oh no. I've done French seams before for pillowcases, but never for a bag. I can see why it'd be a smart idea so that you're hiding all of your seams, but that's unfortunate. It's so thick. My machine has automatic fabric sensors, which means it knows how thick my project is. So I've never had a problem with things being too thick. I know that the Mega Dream Bag handle is probably the thickest I've done, which was like 4 layers of fusible fleece, 4 layers of Shape Flex, and 8 layers of fabric. So it's pretty thick at the thickest point. But yeah, it's definitely important to go slow over those thick areas. Barb, you just started your Sew Together bag. Awesome. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you'll put lots of fun things in there. I use mine all the time. All right, guys. Well, this has been a really nice evening making this bag with you, or making this bag and then you can come back and watch this later if that's what you prefer. It's so short and easy compared to the Sew Together bag, so I feel kind of funny logging off so early at just past 8 because the last couple times it's gone like 2 hours. But I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Actually, I'm going to show you real quick what we're going to do next time. So in 2 weeks from now, we're going to work on, I was going to do cake mixes, but I think instead I'm going to do triangles on a roll. So let me show you real quick. It's basically the same concept, but I've done a video before on cake mixes and I've never done one on triangles on a roll. So this is like just a paper. It comes on a roll, and you pin it to your 2 layers of fabric to make half square triangles. So I've been making a ton of these. Here's my stack so far. I still need to iron them. But it's just a really easy way of making half square triangles out of yardage. So cake mixes are great for making half square triangles out of layer cakes. But if you don't have if you're not using a layer cake, then and you just want to do it out of yardage, then triangles on the roll, the sizing is a little bit more flexible. So that's what our video is going to be about 2 weeks from now. If that's something you'd be interested in, I do have 3 different sizes of triangles on a roll available in our store right now. If there's a size that you're interested in that you don't see that you want in time for the class, then just send me a message and I'll order the size that you want, so that you have it in time for the class in 2 weeks. So I think that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you on either next week's Wednesday live or 2 weeks from now, Thursday live. And always make sure that you check for updates on Facebook the day of or the day before the Sip and Sew, because I'll usually post any materials you need or steps you need to have done before the video starts. So, all right, guys, bye, Jane and Dale, Robin, Nancy, Jenny. Thanks for watching tonight, you guys. Have a great evening. Bye.